Okay, we are live. Hopefully, I've got audio tonight. I had a problem last weekend where it didn't start off. If somebody could give me a thumbs up there and let me know if it is, I'd appreciate it. Awesome. All right. Well, I guess you guys saw by the title that we're going to talk about camping, meetups, and bushcraft stuff. Going to bring some of you up here on the panel and discuss some of these things. I got some questions for y'all and what y'all think about different things, different styles, different techniques in bushcrafting and camping and such. And maybe you can relate how you've used some of those things. Uh, it's easy to go out and practice it, but have you actually utilized some of those skills? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to get the link ready and I will throw it up at the top of the screen there for you guys. Come on. There we go. All right, that's pinned to the top there. If you guys want to come up on the panel with me here, I'd appreciate it. And we got Randy. There we go.
How you doing, sir?
Howdy.
A little bit different setup here. There we go. And maybe we'll get some more here in a bit. But, earlier I was on a live stream, and you were there too, Randy. With,
we lost Randy.
Huh? We lost Randy? We might have to see if we can get him back up here. We'll give just some. There we go. That's all right. He's back. But no, I was saying earlier, I was on the live stream there with two guys in the Ozarks, and I thought that was really kind of special that he had his son there trying to light the fire there with a ferro rod. You just don't see much youth getting out these days doing these things, but I think it's just awesome. What'd you think of it?
Me?
Yeah.
I didn't see it, so it's got to be you.
Oh, okay. I think it's pretty awesome. I like seeing stuff like that. Not even just with camping and stuff, but anytime that a dad's spending time with his son nowadays, to me, really makes me feel good because it's so rare anymore nowadays, it seems like. And
this is true.
It's extremely important.
Well, I know Colin's gotten his son out there with him, and he actively takes part in a lot of the stuff he does out there. I just think, I wish I could be around my boys to do the same thing. Oh yeah, we got Gunslinger Outdoors. Good to see you.
210's in here, and Jason, obviously.
Yep.
How old are your sons?
Oh.
Good evening, everyone.
Put me on the spot there.
They're watching.
Hey. Camping is for the young folks. Glamping is for us older folks.
Yeah.
I do medieval glamping. You guys see my tents.
Oh, you older folks can still do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm kind of a mix. Uh, I may have the glamping tent, but I
Dude, you got so much glamping going on. It's ridiculous. I've been
oh,
in.
stop. Stop.
Especially
Wow,
when
we got
gourmet
Ozark
meals.
Woodsman. Good to see you.
Yeah, see, when I go camping, I cook gourmet meals.
Hey, Woodsman.
Gourmet most of the time, don't you, Jason? Though.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where are y'all from? Are y'all all from the same area? I can't remember.
I'm from
No,
Iowa.
I'm in Southeast Texas.
Illinois. And you're
Wow.
Missouri, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Southern Missouri, down by Branson.
Yeah. Nice.
Yes, gunslinger.
Yeah, smart camping. And why make it hard on myself? If I can do it if I have to, but
There's no
uh,
point in roughing it if you don't have to.
I want to at least have a comfortable night's rest so that during the day I can do all the activities that I want, like
Yes, it's like spend more time
bushcraft.
fishing.
Yeah, fishing, bushcrafting, hiking.
Archery for me.
Maybe gathering some wood.
Yeah, you
Got a
gotta
little-
save up all your
Wild
energy for those campfire stories.
Yeah,
I said I caught a fish this big.
said the one-armed man.
If we didn't see it, it didn't happen.
Well, no, it was. I caught a fish this big.
Oh,
That's
When
good.
we had our gathering a couple years ago, Randy, one of our guys got a really huge fish, and he put it on a stringer that I had, and he walked the bass down the aisle, got out of his hand. He had to go running after it across the beach, then caught it. Not sure what I think he ate it afterwards. I can't remember.
Yeah, he caught that fish twice.
Yeah,
Was that Blake's bass?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he lost half of it when he was cleaning it.
oh man.
yeah.
Right down in the drain.
Ooh,
At the
Wow.
fish station. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah,
it was
Man.
definitely good times, and I'd really like to. I want to have a meetup, and I don't know how many people would be willing to travel to Illinois, but I do have a good campground. Now it is, it's a little more primitive because it's got the pit toilets, but it's in a pine campground in a pine forest area that it'd be great for going out and finding some fat wood and just kind of experimenting around with it, maybe showing off some of the things, and
I get it.
hopefully we can get some interest for that. I was thinking maybe mid to late May, if possible.
Yeah, it's a little bit far for us.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you've got the one coming up here in April, is that right?
Yes, on April 11th.
And-
Yes.
And that's going to be in Texas.
Yes, northeast of Houston. It's going to be what's the name of that place? Let me go to my map here. Can't remember the name of the place. It's at the resort, and it's going to be.
Just the name of it sounds expensive to me, but
This one's going to be. Was it Operation Rendezvous? Is the third one. Operation Rendezvous 3. It's in Huffman, Texas. HUFFMAN. Huffman, Texas. Which
just
is
like
just
Herbert.
of Houston, right?
Ozark Woodman is allergic to Illinois. Well, guess what? So am I, but I'm kind of here for more reasons than just the basic ones.
Well, I plan on going back up to Yellow River, Dan, just to let you know.
Yeah.
But I also plan on going up to South Dakota too.
So I wanted to ask, you know, we've got Randy here, obviously, who's into it, and Colin and Jason. And then we also have a bunch of them in our audience here. Just kind of wanted to throw out the question of what kind of got you into the bushcrafting stuff. I mean, is it something you've just kind of always done, and once it became more evident on, say, YouTube, you kind of got interested in it?
Well, said I grew up with it, so to me it's not that big of a deal. I just grew up with it. And then I moved.
The SEA and that kind of thing, Jason?
Say again?
The SEA and that kind of thing?
Yeah, my mom was actually part of that. We were not. Yeah,
I was SEA, and one of the things they do there is medieval camping and everything else. So you get used to doing that kind of thing. So then I realized, hey, wait a second, my gear will fit over in my friend's rendezvous. Let's go over there. And I did that. So my gear and everything crossed over really easily.
Yeah, like I said, I learned the survival stuff from my dad. He was United States Marine Corps. We grew up out in the wild.
He is.
Yeah. Well, retired. Well, anyways, he taught us, all the survival stuff. We learned all the animals. We learned, what to eat, where they are.
Wild edibles.
Yeah, and the basic survivals. Shelter, water, food.
What about you, Randy?
Well, I was really, really big into Boy Scouts as a youngster, and one of my old scoutmasters was in the Mountain Man program, and everywhere he went, he took a teepee and had a stove in there, which nobody had stoves back then in their tents or teepees that I knew of, except for him. So that kind of got my interest, but just never really. I got married, got out of everything. I've always loved wintertime, and I think 3 winters ago, I was watching YouTube and started seeing some winter camping with the hot stoves. That just looked really good to me. I'd never even heard of a hot tent. And then a guy in particular, his name is Ozarks Woodsman. Oh man, what is his name? All of a sudden, I can't think of it. I'll think of it here in a minute. But anyway, he Woodsman helped me out with his name. Anyway, he caught my attention. He's kind of like a lot of my personality. He's kind of redneck about everything. He's broke. He rigs everything. And the Outdoors McGee. That's who it is. The Outdoors McGee. And
check that one out.
He kept me laughing all the time. It was just so funny. So, and watching him do it made me want to do it. And so my son bought me a hot tent. I bought me a wood stove and just started one winter making videos and just kept going. I quit for a while that summer because I don't really like summer, but got back into it. It was kind of neat because I don't think I really planned to get back into the recording part, but I kept getting messages. Hey, when are you going to put out another video? We miss you. We miss hearing from you. We miss seeing your videos. And so it kind of pushed me into starting up again.
Just when you think you're out, they pull you back in.
Yeah. I'm glad, though. I've enjoyed it.
Well, I grew up living on a lake and, about 4 acres, some of it was wooded and everything. So I had, all kinds of outdoor adventures as a small kid. Then moved to Arkansas, and then got into hunting. So I got to spend a lot of time in the woods then. And, growing up, family trips, a lot of them were, anything from tent camping, a van, trailer camping, etc. So I've always had a love, a passion for that, and didn't
Right.
realize that, different things that I did kind of related to, survival and bushcrafting skills. Then, of course, got with YouTube, created my channel, and, I kind of intended it to be, based around hunting, fishing, outdoors, but I kind of got mixed in with bushcrafters, and so
Well, I still like what you call it.
we got another one in queue here. There's 210. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing?
There we go. See if we position everybody around. But I think probably my biggest influence on it was Tyler Wood's Bushcraft. He I don't exactly
He give you the bug
know.
pretty much.
I'm not exactly sure how we crossed paths, but once we did, it was like, we'd known each other all our lives, and then we had a first meetup, and it's like he was not at all a stranger to me. Like he was my best friend from down the street.
Yeah.
And that's something I like about the abilities that YouTube has brought together, people from all these different niches and things like that. It gives us the ability to share experiences and such. So
Yeah. I found out after being a part of the Wood Squad, which was what his crew was called. I found out that he actually was on my archery range when I ran archery ranges at Renaissance fairs, and he's one of my former champions of one of my archery tournaments. And we were in the midst of doing overnight camping at Yellowbanks at the time. It's like, really? He goes, I literally stopped right in the middle of the trail going up to our camp and realized that's what happened. But there's only one person in our group that actually knows him better than all of us, and that's Cornfed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what about you, David? What kind of brought you into it?
Well, I was kind of like Randy. I was in Boy Scouts and Royal Rangers as a young man, and from a military family as well. My dad and my uncles, and we're all in the military and in the outdoors. So I grew up around it.
Oh.
Um,
Camera down.
Sorry. Okay, here we go.
Tighten that thing up.
I don't know what's wrong with it. Got a mind of its own.
I'm glad you're
Anyways,
dressed.
yeah, it's drunk. Something. I don't know. But yeah, and I've just kind of stayed in it. My kids weren't in the outdoors at all. So I was kind of like Randy, got out of it for a long time. I mean, I was in it still, but not on YouTube, of course. But YouTube is my main form of entertainment now. It's the real reality TV. I call it. So you can control what you watch.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
But,
And I just find it enjoyable to watch the different techniques. It might be the same concept, but the way that somebody goes about doing it just really fascinates me.
yeah.
And especially, we'll see if I can get this right here. This guy's camera skills.
I'm glad you were pointing at me because I have terrible camera skills.
And I don't
record most of the time.
I don't know how you do that. Just doing it all on the phone.
Yeah. There's a lot of work, that's for sure.
It is.
I don't, you know, I stay so busy from the time I get somewhere till the time I leave because I'm using one phone and I'm not using multiple. So I record a few seconds and I move it and record a few seconds and I move it and record a few seconds and I just keep doing that. And every once in a while, I finally just have to tell myself, that's it. You know, like when we went to this winter camp thing, I finally just had to quit and we went live, you know. But every once in a while, you got to put it down and just try to hang out with people and visit a little bit.
Enjoy the time while you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it's just work the whole time.
Yeah, well, like our last camping trip that we went on to, I only recorded just maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The entire time we were there. Well, including the live time, maybe total 35 minutes because of the vehicle burning up on the highway up above the lake. So, yeah.
I remember this story. I've heard it already.
That's last October, yeah.
Oh, okay. You're talking about that other meetup you did. Yeah.
No, that was our Halloween, our trunk or treat that we went to.
Yeah.
Which we need to find out tomorrow if that's still going to be going on this year.
Why is that?
Different ranger.
Talk to the ranger. That's all you can do.
No, that's what we're gonna call and find out.
If there is a ranger.
No, true. No, this is state.
Okay, then you should be fine then. This is the national ones you worry about.
Have any of you, with your bushcrafting skills? I mean, I know we go out and we utilize them, like starting a fire, with the ferro rod and such, or making something to hang a pot from over a campfire or whatever. But have you ever had to actually utilize the skills that you've learned about bushcrafting that, had a memorable experience for you?
When I went backpacking, I used my flint and steel instead of a lighter.
Yeah, but that would be a choice. I guess I'm kind of.
I didn't have a lighter.
Saying, did you utilize a skill that you wouldn't have otherwise? So let me give you an example.
If someone forced me to do a bow drill, then that would probably be true. That's a running joke, folks.
Hey, Grace.
Hi, Grace.
Welcome.
Hey, Grace.
Good to see you. An example would be, I was out camping, and of course I bought a bundle of wood, but the only choices I had pretty good sized pieces of wood, and I like them to be a little more smaller. I can kind of control it and slowly make the fire burn. But all I had was a small hatchet. It's not something you can get a good powerful swing on and split, because it was a real hard wood. And I even had some hickory there. And I kind of got thinking about it. It was like, wait a minute, I've seen what to do on this. And so I relied on my skills, saw the video in the past where you basically score across the top, and then you take another piece of wood and you build yourself a wedge and pop it in there. Yep. But
Dan,
have you guys ever?
I've got to go because I'm still recovering from my surgery.
Alrighty.
Okay.
My leg is killing me right now. I'm having trouble focusing. But
All right.
I'll catch you guys later.
Be well.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Ah,
Let's see.
there we go.
So
I can't think of any time that I've had to use something. There's been several times where I have used something, like it just would come to my mind and I would use it, but wasn't necessarily something I had to do.
right, but was it something that, like the choice of a lighter versus flint and steel, or was it something that was a bushcraft skill that is like it solved your problem?
Yeah.
I used the lit stick to light my cigarette.
Oh,
I can't think of anything really.
I have.
What's that?
Well, when I was 16, my brother was 14. We got to go, on the guys only camping trip. So, this is late September, and we went up to the Sierra Nevadas on the east side, up there we were up by Lee Vining. So, up where it's really cold. Well, anyways, it started getting dark. We started our campfire, started making our food. It was getting a little bit nippy. I go, we need to put some more rocks by that fire. So my brother and I put rocks around the fire. And then we made our dinner. We made a camper stew, which is basically like a tomato sauce, hamburger, some bow pasta, and some broccoli and some other vegetables, some carrots. And by the time we got eating our dinner, we served our dinner, and we went to go back to go his seconds, and the pot was frozen. It was that cold. So my brother and I got our little shovels and we started digging the trench in the sand. So we made each one of our spots about a foot wide and about 3 feet long. And just before we went to bed, the temperatures were actually really cold. We were probably low teens, close to single digits that night. It was really cold. So we gathered up all the rocks after the fire started dying down, and we went in there and put the rocks in that trench and covered it back up with the sand, and we put our tent on top of it.
Yep.
That kept us warm all night.
Yeah, I've done that before, but not out of necessity. I've actually thought about making a video out of it this past winter, but I got too lazy.
It was cold and clear.
I am getting stoked about, I'm getting old. Cold it hurts. So I'm waiting for it to get just a little bit warmer. Of course, not all of us have a nice luxury condo hot tent like you do, Randy.
Yeah.
That was the community lodge there.
Yeah. It was pretty fun. I just love the cold. I always have. Even as a kid, I've always. Now, I don't want to be out in it all the time. I don't want to be forced to work in it all the time either, I want to be able to get out of it when I want to, but I love it when it gets dark early. I love it when it's cloudy and gray and snowy and peaceful. And man, I just love that. And totally opposite of summer. Summer's my least favorite time of year. And it's really hard for me to come up with things to do for videos because it's just so miserably hot.
Yeah. I think it would be enjoyable, like I said, if I had, a hot tent for the night. Of course, the day, if it's, 10 below, it's kind of miserable. But, if the day warms up,
that's why I live here in the South.
Probably be okay. Yeah.
I don't like.
Yeah, I'm an oddball. I don't meet many people that like really cold, but as a matter of fact, that's how I ended up here. Is I was gonna move to Minnesota. I lived in Oklahoma City at the time, and had a friend that was from Minnesota that worked with me. And I looked up the coldest place in the United States beside Alaska, and at the time it said that it was Minnesota. And so I decided I was going to move there. My friend's like, "I'm moving back too." Next thing I know, he moved there and left me behind. Him and his wife and kid took off. And so I was going to move there, but I decided it was a little bit too far away from my kids. So I felt like this was as far as I could go and still be close enough to my kids. And I thought I'd get some good harsh winters here, but it's not much different than where I was before.
What about you, David?
Well, I missed out on some of that conversation trying to get this stupid setup. Uh,
Well,
Nothing's going right tonight, but um,
well, I was
what?
asking if any of you had actually, aside from stuff that you know how to do, like starting a fire with a lighter, you know, or versus using a flint and steel. That's kind of like a choice. But
Yeah.
have you ever utilized some of the skills to uh, resolve a situation that's, I guess what you call a bushcrafting skill?
Well, like you say, really not out of choice. Not in a survival situation. Obviously, now I have, been out with some guys and everybody forgot a lighter or whatever, and I had my ferro rod or flint and steel. I've had done those things, but not out of survival by no means. It's always good to show like my nephews and stuff. Like you said earlier, seeing the younger generation out there, it's always good because it was like pulling teeth to get my own kids, my boys out in the woods. They were into video games and all that. They weren't into sports. So anytime I could get a hold of a youngster like my nephews or anybody, I was willing to jump in and show them the skills. And, it's
Yeah.
important for somebody to know how to start a fire without matches, without a lighter. Are we going to need those in everyday life? Hopefully not. But
Yeah.
you got to have, you don't know how bad the world's going to get. You don't know what we're going to go through. You may need those skills. And if you don't continue to brush up on them and hone your skills, um, you know, like you said, seeing the younger generation not being out there, uh, how many of them actually know how to start a fire without a match or a lighter? Very few,
Right.
So
Hey,
to
good
answer,
evening, Rob. That's Corn
Yeah.
Fed. He just
Yep.
came into the chat there. Just wanted to say good evening to him.
Yep. How's it going, Rob? Yeah,
You know,
Rob's a good guy.
I know when when I go to the same campground all the time, there just isn't, there's not a lot of I guess what they call free range camping or whatever. Uh, there's places you can actually hike in and camp, but it's at a specific set camp spot. So, and unfortunately, the people around here aren't too amenable to having somebody, camp on their land, and especially when you say, "Yeah, I'm going to be making some forts or a
Yeah,
lean-to
they don't take too
and
kindly to that.
and making a fire, fire in my woods." So, but of course, you gotta when you do approach those things, you can't just say, hey, can I do this on your land? You gotta, hey, I was noticing you might need some help with that. And I'm not asking for any kind of payment. I'd just like to be able to, maybe camp in the back part of your woods there for a YouTube channel. So just kind of present them with an opportunity like that. They're a little more amenable to it, but I know a lot of these guys around here get approached about hunting, so because there's not much public hunting around here.
I understand that one.
I got really lucky. I guess because my boss owns that 20 acres, and right from the very first start of the very first video, I had asked him, "Can I stay there on your property?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then he's told me so many times ever since then, "You can do anything you want to out there." He told me I can cut trees, I can build anything I want, cut anything I want, burn anything I want. He just, it's pretty cool. And so I try to respect his property because I don't
Yeah.
want to lose that. But yeah, he's told me that several times. Anything I want to do, just do it.
Yeah. Well, if I was
Don't
back in
burn it down.
Arkansas, I knew some people that probably would have let me do that. I did actually. The last year I was there, I had some rights to hunt on private property, which was nice. But I didn't really get into, like I said, all of this bushcrafting, and I
Right.
guess for my sake, it would be more called like camp crafting because I'm crafting this stuff around the campsite. So
Yeah. Grace
yeah,
says, "I'm
Grace.
lucky to have access to a friend's 120 acres and my sister's 50 acres."
Oh,
Oh,
lucky.
that would be so nice.
Yes.
I'm
But
hoping here in 2 years to have some property.
I like, you know, when I'm out camping in this campground I go to, a lot of times, it is, uh, like I said, the little more primitive. There's no power out there, and no water hookups and pit toilets. So a lot of times, the basic people that come out there are tent campers, and I get to see, you know, like young families or even father son, father daughter, or whatever coming out and camping. And I introduce them to Fatwood, as to help them start their fire. And eyes just go, it does what?
Look how lucky Grace is. 15
Yeah.
minutes away.
Where are you, Grace? Maybe I need to go meet up with you again.
Another lucky thing for me and 210 and even Woodsman, like the Mark Twain National Forest is 15 to 30 minutes from my house, depending on which area I go to. And that's usually where me and 210 meet up together, is when we camp together, is at the Mark
That's
Twain
right.
National Forest.
Southern Indiana. Okay. Yeah, the campground I go to is in a state park, you know, but it was uh, planted with pines like, I don't know, 40 plus years ago, and so it's really nice. I got a video out there. It was, I think, a live video that I made walking around the campground. And of course, while I was making it, didn't realize I wasn't actually live. It was set to private. I'm like, nobody's coming in,
Oh,
nobody's saying anything, not a word, no questions. Hey, there's J and J.
Hey, what's up?
But I like, you know, passing on a little bit of knowledge to fellow campers out there that, they go to Walmart, they buy the tent and the cooler and the Coleman stove, and they come flying out there thinking, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be great," and then you see them crawl out of their tent in the morning. Oh my never going again. And then you see their camping gear for sale on Facebook
Yeah.
Marketplace the next day.
yeah.
Or they leave it behind?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that one we found. Somebody left behind. I think it was an Ozark Trail.
Oh, it was a good sized tent
It was like
for
a
just two people.
10-man tent. Yeah,
But then I
And
got no room to talk about because I got a large tent for 2 people.
I've got a, what is it? I think it's 9x10,
Yeah.
6-man tent, cabin style.
Yeah,
But
we
I
got the
can
12
stand
by
up.
14. Yeah, I got 12 by 14 and we can stand up. A cabin tent.
The other day, there's a guy named Nomadic. I think it's Nomadic something.
Camping.
Nomadic
Nomadic
camping.
camping with endless weekends.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he found a abandoned tent and actually called the police because it was kind of covered in snow, but it was all still put up and made him kind of nervous, worried, you know.
You might find something in there you don't want to see.
Yeah. I mean, he finally went up to it, but it was kind of eerie, honestly. Had snow all over it, but it still looked like it was just set up and then people just left.
Yeah. I find the older I get, the harder I sleep. Now, I usually only sleep like a 3-hour stretch, and then I wake up and I might be up for a couple hours, then a couple more hours of sleep, and then get up, have breakfast or whatever. But because I sleep so hard, a lot of times I worry that somebody might get a little mischievous and
Uh-huh.
make their way to something. But or even if I leave my camp area and go hiking off in the woods. And so what I've come up with is I don't know if you've ever seen one of those personal alarm things for your keychain where you could separate it and it lets off a
Yeah.
piercing siren sound. I
Uh-huh.
uh, I attach it to the cot in the inside so it's got some weight, and then when I zip the zipper and it comes down and then across, and then that's where I attach it to the cot on the inside there. I can leave it open enough I can reach in there and hook it onto
Right.
it. Then if somebody goes like to zip open the door, it's going to separate that siren, which
Right.
means now there's this piercing sound that they've got to figure out how to get the 2 pieces back together to get it to stop. So
That's a good idea.
yeah. So it's basically like a house alarm. When you open the
Yeah.
door unwanted, you get discovered.
Oh man. What's everybody's next adventure?
I've got
I,
a solo car camping video coming up this week.
ooh, nice. Nice. Look
Yeah, I
forward to that.
realized I never did a car camp in our SUV before, so I went out to some conservation land and did one. It's funny, he's talking about tents. I went there and there's a site that my wife and I stayed at one time, and somebody had a tent put up, and I went to back in that spot, and they either caught their tent on fire or somebody burned it down or whatever. But it was an eerie sight. It was just a mound of molten rubble of old camp equipment. It was a big burning
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah, I
I like
found
doing
somebody left a lodge pan, a cast iron pan on the grill, and it was one of the big ones.
wow.
But I mean, I know I should learn to use the cast iron, but just lugging around the heavy pan and then dealing with it's got the oils on it and stuff, and when you put it in with your other gear, you also have on the bottom of the pan, if you're cooking over the fire, you have the soot on it. So you almost
Yeah.
have to come up with a bag to put it in. So
Yeah. Because they also stink after a
yeah,
while.
yeah,
Dry bag works good for on slide in. A lot of times my cold handle or black cast iron, I'll slide in a dry sack or something.
yeah. Now I did see something kind of interesting today. Blackie Thomas put out a video. I guess he's doing a multi-part. It might be just a 2-part series of making like bags for stuff, and he talked about the process to go through, especially if you're going to make it something that's marketable. And but he brought up a good point that Harbor Freight has I think it's like a 10 by 10 canvas uh, tarp that you can get. So it's relatively cheap. I think he says around $25. But if you have a mind to, do a little sewing, you could make a nice little pouch for your cast iron stove that wouldn't get that stuff all over. So maybe I'll give that a try.
Like Grace said, you could use a trash bag, which a lot of times I do. I always bring extra trash bags, try to with me, just so I can clean up places better than I've found it, and that works great too.
Yeah, that's one of the first things I do when I get to the site is I'll walk around and usually people leave a lot, cans in the fire or
Yep.
I know after the 4th of July there's fireworks laying all over the place. Uh, this last 4th of July, I think I must have picked up over 100 expended bottle rockets, probably about a dozen of the yellow glow sticks that were they just throw them off in the woods, so I always leave it better than I found it.
Yep. It's the best model to stand by. I mean, I was telling Randy, before, and it's frustrating of all the trashed out sites that you go to. People, it's free land, and they just want to go out and just trash it out. I mean, it's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as I find a good weekend, because I know April can be kind of rainy a lot here, rainy and winds. Uh, Not that I have a problem with it. I set up a nice uh, tarp uh, that I can sit out under. I enjoy that time too. But once I have a good weekend, I'm probably gonna come back with all my SD cards full of footage. It's like I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. I mean, like I said, I've got a notebook that when I'm watching y'all's videos, I get inspired and I'll write down, oh yeah, I want to do something like that. I want to do this. I want to use the camera angles that Randy uses. So
Yeah, I get inspired watching people, and it really don't matter who it is. It's like everybody's got good ideas in different ways, and it'll spark something in me and give me ideas. I was telling you about that Scoutmaster guy I had. One of the things he always did was axe throwing, and so he always had a big old log with a tripod stand that he'd put it on with a target on it, and we got to do some axe throwing. He was trying to teach us. Well, I've always wanted to do that again, and I just kept putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. And then when I went to camping with this guy, a young kid, his name's Byron's Bates. He travels all over, but he asked me if I wanted to do a collage or whatever it's called, collab. And I said, yeah, I'll do it, because he was going to go stand Mark Twain. Anyway, while we were there, he just started chunking his little hand axe. I set up a log and I started chucking it. We started having competitions, and it kind of got me inspired. I wanted to start doing something, so that's what I spent all day. This whole weekend, I've spent building up a a target board and got it almost all ready to go.
Yeah, that's something I would like to get a little better at. I mean, I can, like if I've got a chopping log or something sitting there by the fire, and I got my mower knife, I can walk by it, stick it right in it, no problem. But
Yeah,
So don't forget
man.
to save your shavings either.
don't forget what?
When you're chopping wood and stuff, don't forget to save your chips.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I have a wax canvas firewood carrying. Uh, it's not a bag, It's just like a rectangular piece with handles on the end. So you lay your logs down in it and then pick it up, carry it to your site. But I find that real good for going out and picking up, wood for the fire. But
Yeah.
also,
Hello,
when
Mike.
I am cutting stuff down, I will put it there beside the log, up as tight up against as I can. And while sawing or shaving or whatever, it falls down onto that, so I can collect it up. Which
Or
is,
if you're gonna whittle, save your whittling.
it's going to be used in a video coming up.
Hey, Minnesota Mike came in.
Hey, good to see you, Minnesota
Are you
Mike.
good?
Appreciate
Hey,
you
Mike.
coming in.
He's talking about people inspiring. That's also when I first started watching 210. He was using a cold handle skillet, and that inspired me to get one because I wanted one so bad I couldn't hardly stand it because it reminded me of my grandparents. And
Now
so I
that's a
did.
little different than a cast iron, right?
Yeah, it's real thin metal. What kind of metal is it? 210
It's carbon steel.
service steel, and then the handle is just kind of hollow, so it stays cold even when the pan stays hot.
Really?
But it reminded me of my grandparents, and so I bought one on eBay, and I use it more than I use any pan. I even use it here at the house all the time.
Yeah, it's real lightweight and a lot easier to carry than a cast iron.
How's it do for like food sticking to it?
You got to season it like a cast iron, kind of. You got to wipe it out. You don't wash it with soap. Same type of thing, but it's just a real thinner, lighter weight metal.
Okay, that might be more to my liking.
Yeah, I mean,
Be worth
I can
giving it
flip
a
eggs
try.
in it. I did that on this camp out. I mean, my cast irons I got are super slick. As long as you keep them, seasoned, they work properly.
Yeah, my cast
Now,
iron, I can cook
This is
cheese.
a little one.
Yeah.
yeah,
You got a new one?
could you season that? Like say out camping as opposed to having to do it in the oven.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
And
might
the
need
the
to do.
key is not to get them too hot. Just like cast
Yeah,
iron, you burn something
Yep.
in it, any pan, it's too late. To hold off the
right,
heat. You don't let it get too hot. They cook super fast. So
right. I'm gonna challenge you to make a video about that.
What, cooking cheese in their cast iron skillet without it sticking?
No, seasoning one of
Oh,
those pans.
yeah, it's pretty easy. I mean, the best way to do is just cook. If you get one that's just like a cast iron, first thing I cook in it's bacon. Bacon or sausage or anything high fat, or just don't burn the oil.
Yeah,
save your drippings so you can
Yes.
reseason your cast iron.
Yeah.
yeah.
Any kind of
Which
oils. I mean, obviously, if you're not in animal fats, you can use any kind of oil, really.
Yeah, in our
yeah,
household, we just use the olive oil because
Yeah.
we use.
I've got to get better at cooking over an actual fire.
Mhm.
Because I always tend to, like I said, you give it too much heat and it burns.
Yep.
But bread is something, or bannock, something of that nature, is something that I really want to try doing.
Yeah, just keep your heat down. That's key to bannock because it burns super easy. So if you just keep your heat down, and you can always pull the pan off the fire. I watch everybody sit there and they're like, man, I don't know why everything burns, and they just leave it in the fire. It's like, you can pull it off the fire like you do at home. It's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Minnesota Max says I have a 6-inch available, and I have three 15-inch ones.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to have a
Probably.
15-inch. I don't have a 15-inch. I think I've got a 3 to a 10. Or
They're nice.
yeah,
They're nice.
the bigger ones are nice for
Yeah.
you got a family to cook for or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
I
got
think
one.
mine is. I think I have a 6 and a 9. I think, or 10 or something like that.
Yeah, because our 15 was actually given to us by a neighbor because they didn't know how to take care of it.
Wow, all rested
Hey.
up.
Hey, Cliff.
Hey, Cliff. No, what it was is when we got it, I mean, I had
Hey,
to clean
Cliff.
it, and I threw it in the fire upside down. I let it heat up. Took some hot water in there, put it in there, scrubbed it real good, put it on there, hit it with the olive oil. Once it heated up, pulled it off, let it cool. It did it 3 times in that one day. And that evening, I fried bass in it, and it set. And they said, just keep it.
Crisco's a good thing to use to season them too.
Yeah, I got lard in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'd really like to, kind of transition from cooking on the Coleman stove. Although I do like when I cook the bacon, I've got a pan that has not a sloped side, but it, kind of comes over and almost 90 degrees up about 2 inches because it helps keep the splatter down.
Yeah.
And then I also, for my breakfast, I'll boil up some, cube up some potatoes, and then once the bacon's done, then I, those boiled up cube potatoes, drop them in some bacon grease. Oh yeah.
Nothing like onions and peppers.
Yeah.
The 2 things I'm allergic to. That's why it makes it so hard for the dehydrated or freeze dried breakfasts or meals. 'Cause so many of them have onions and peppers in them.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
It's a curse.
Yeah, apparently it is.
But I'm game to eat the bacon.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, breads like a bannock. I'd like to try that. I have taken to. I can cook cinnamon rolls over a campfire. I found that smoked cinnamon rolls are actually pretty darn good.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Anybody got any good recipes for?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot, I can do over, just a Dutch oven and a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I can do bread. I've done monkey bread in it, and I've shown everybody how to do it in a Dutch oven with coals.
Inside pork chops. Yeah.
I did a video a few months back. Tried to make meatloaf in my cast iron Dutch oven, and that turned out a disaster. It looked terrible. It tasted okay, but man, it looked so bad. It looked terrible.
Yeah,
Even my boss told me, he's like, usually everything you cook looks so good. He said, but Yeah, that looked pretty bad. He said even my dogs wouldn't eat it, which wasn't true. But yeah, I don't know how to use Dutch ovens very good at all.
No,
I like your analogy, Randy. You said it looked like meatloaf soup.
Yep.
Like
no,
Mike
Yep.
said,
as long as you got a rack
better in the dark.
and aluminum
Yeah.
foil, you can pretty much almost do anything in a Dutch oven.
Yeah, for sure.
As long as you know what you're doing. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I want to do some breads, because I like, honey and bread.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's always nice.
That's how that Canada guy I watch, man. He does a lot of bread and honey.
Yeah.
He just makes the dough and everything, and he'll just like hang it on a stick
Yeah.
and cook the bread, and it's awesome.
As I say, the bannock on a stick, that's one of the easiest ways. It's really good.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, the thing that I the bannock interests me, but when I see these other styles of making bread, they always say, oh, use some yeast, and then you put it in a bowl and you cover it and you let it sit, for 4 to 8 hours. I'm more I want to mix it up, throw it on, and cook it right then and there.
Yeah, you can just do self-rising flour and water and do some really nice flatbreads. I mean, you don't have to do yeast and get all fancy. I mean, there's a lot of 2 and 3 ingredient breads that you can do on campfires, and then you can add seasoning to it and nuts and dried fruit.
Oh yeah. Well, it seems like every time I look up for videos of those type of things, they always say, oh, a simple 3 ingredient, you know, okay,
Mhm.
flour, water, a little bit of oil, and some salt and some yeast, and it's like, wait a minute, you went beyond 3 ingredients.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about adding fruits to it too.
Yeah, it's. I mean, our ancestors did it for millennial. I mean, it's very simple. It's what they had. It's what the natives had was very simple ingredients they ground by hand. It's water and flour. That's pretty much it. I mean,
Right.
nuts and fruit.
I'm sorry,
Grace is
Becky.
telling us how to cook banana chocolate. Minnesota Mike says food looks better if you eat it in the dark.
That's funny.
Yes, that's great advice.
Yeah.
Can't see stuff crawling in it either.
He says, I
Secret.
watched a lady on YouTube that is not a bushcrafter, but I learned to bake bread from her. Her site is called Jenny Can Cook.
Yeah, unfortunately, if I go camping, I have to have power though.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my power is mainly for, like recharging cameras and, of course, the phone.
Yeah, well, I'm
Uh,
stuck with the CPAP machine, so I'm kind of limited.
yeah. I just ordered a new one.
Uh,
My other one kind of croaked on me, which was
Your other what?
disappointing. My solar battery box.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's gotten a lot of use. It really has.
it's amazing what I've learned to take camping with me and actually cook in there. I've learned to cook in a rice maker.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then we discovered the what is it the pressure cooker, the Instapot too.
Yep.
But it's amazing what you can do with a rice cooker.
Jenny can cook. Look that up.
you taught bushcraft.
All you need is a little bit of rice, a can of soup, and some meat and some veggies. Cook the rice, dump the a can of broth in there, chicken, beef, and a can of corn or peas and carrots or something, and hey, you got a good meal.
Yep.
Like I said, I haven't mastered cooking rice over an open fire.
Yeah,
I need to learn that.
I struggled with that, and then I was just like, you know, I think what I'll do is just, I've got one of the little Stanley. Uh, I don't even know what the size of it is, but it comes with the 2 plastic cups in it.
Yeah.
And so basically, I'll put some water in there, boil it up, and then add minute rice to it and let it, just kind of sit and soak up that water into it. That
I
seems
haven't
to
thought
work
about
pretty
minute rice.
decent. Yeah.
Forgot all about that.
Yeah. Because what I like to do with it is, I get, since it's just me, it's kind of hard to justify making a full stew. So I'll just get a can of Danny Moore and then, one of the smaller cans. And then I'll make up some rice, which is filler, so then I'll make a pretty good meal out of it.
Yeah, some good carbohydrates.
Yeah.
In moderation.
There's a good idea. Boiling bag rice.
Yeah, like you said, the minute rice.
Yeah. Hey, it's 2 guys in the. Let's see. Yep. Got him. 2 guys in the Ozarks. We were just talking about how we admired that you get your son out there and involved in, making the fire and stuff like that. And you just don't see that in a lot of today's youth, but he just looked so eager to learn and to try, and it warms the heart to see it. So
Okay, my youngest daughter is about ready to take a friend of hers fishing. He's never been fishing before.
How old is he?
Oh, what? I think it is mid-20s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I took a guy fishing not last summer, but the summer before. I think he was 20 or 21. He's my coworker. He might have been 22. Anyway, it's his first time to ever go fishing. And then I also took him on his first camp out. He stayed in his Suburban. I stayed in my little camper trailer I had.
yeah, I took a girl I was dating. She had I think at the time he was probably about 14, somewhere. Yeah, I think about 14. And I took him fishing, and of course, he's all about playing video games. And
Yeah.
his mom convinced me to take him with, so I did. And I said, "All right," and I showed him how to cast. And I think I had him on one of my Zebco 33s. Now that's almost like the uh, impervious to screwing it up for casting, unless you don't let go of the button.
Yeah. It's the best, easiest, simplest thing out there.
But I said, "All right, I'll be fishing here," and there was a big tree there and some bushes, and I said, "You just kind of go around the bank, just the other side of it, and cast out there. You can cast over this direction, and they kind of like out in front of these bushes here." And so it wasn't even 5 minutes. He comes walking back over, and he doesn't have the fishing pole with him. And I was like, "What's going on?" And he said, "Line's tangled." And I was like, and I basically had a worm hook on a weight and a bobber, the basics. And so I go over there, and somehow he has that line in between the top 2 eyelets looped underneath several times and tangled up. And I was like, how did you accomplish this? That's like near impossible unless you physically lift the line up and throw it under a couple times. Oh, I don't know. So, all right, I got it all cleared out. And he says, and the fish aren't biting over here. I said, well, you haven't even been there 5 minutes. He says, well, they're biting over there by you. I says, okay, you can have my spot and I'll go over here. So I go over to where he was. He goes over to where I was. He's casting. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I better see what's going on. And he's over there and he's just got that rod just going like this, shaking it up and down. He's not casting, he's just shaking it up and down. And it's just winding up all over the end of the tip of it. And I was like, no. If you get to the point where you got to shake it more than twice, stop. You know?
Stop playing with it.
Yeah. And so then got him untangled again. Had him do a couple casts. He did all right. I walked back around the tree, and he's like, he comes around a minute later, and he says, "Oh, I'm gonna go on down here, and I'm gonna try it down there." All right. About 5 minutes later, he comes walking back, no fishing pole. Okay. And we had bag chairs with us, so he had taken the bag chair with him. And so I walk down there, and as I get closer, I see the bag chair sitting there with the fishing pole sitting, pointing up in the sky with the line going up, and it's wrapped around a tree up above. All right. Or are you trying to make me mad? Because I have taught a lot of people how to fish, and this has been the craziest experience ever. And no. And so I, of course, had to break the line. There was no way of getting it out of the tree. Got him set up one more time, and he walked down a ways, and I look over, and he isn't even trying to cast. He's just shaking it up and down, trying to tangle it on the end again. I said, all right, that's it. We're going to the house. And then I guess probably, I don't know, 2 years later, 2 or 3 years later, he was out. I was out fishing at the lake with a friend of mine, and he come out with some of his friends. And boy, now he's got a spinning reel, and he's got, a tackle box full of gear and all this stuff. It's like, do I claim any credit for teaching him anything?
What not to do?
Maybe for giving him desire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But boy, he loves fishing now.
That's cool.
Yeah. Usually once they start catching them, especially, they get hooked big time.
Yeah. Well, I think if I could have turned him on to a decent sized bass, he'd probably, I can do that. Because that's what I used to do. The town I lived in, they had some little, it was out in Colorado. They have the containment ponds, which is where they keep water sources. And so they stock them full of bass. And I would go out there belly boating. And there's a lot of times when I would come across, like a dad trying to teach his son how to fish. And they have no luck. They haven't caught a thing. And I used to keep, there was a lure that worked pretty good. It was just basically a little diver thing that looked just like a bass with a little short bill on it, a little crankbait. And so I kept extras on me because I would pick them up. We had a Bass Pro Shop and what's the other one they bought up? Cabela's. We have both of those. within nice range. So we went and I would give them one of those, and I said, I tell you what, you see those bushes out there hanging out over the water? You cast that out just a little on past it, out in front of it, and just kind of twitch it and bring it in slowly. It says you'll get you one. Bam, they get one. And of course the dad's like, wait a minute, I've been trying, and nothing. And you come along, give him one lure, tell him where to cast, and he catches one. Yeah.
Yep.
So I always enjoyed doing that. If I could brighten a kid's day by doing that, it made my day.
That's what it's all about. Getting everybody in the outdoors and getting everybody involved. And, I hear so many people comment on your video or talk to you, and it's like, I wish I could afford all the gear to get out. I'm like, man, you can go to the thrift stores, you can go Walmart, wherever, just get out. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to buy it all at one time.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was little, I would just get a sleeping bag or a blanket and take it out down by the creek and lay out. And sometimes I'd camp without even a tarp or tent or anything to sleep under the stars. I mean,
Oh
you
yeah.
don't need fancy gear to camp.
No.
As we get older, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, too many injuries. Getting up
Yeah.
off the
Well,
ground.
a lot of the times I will go to like the dollar store and just walk around and look for inspiration even.
Yep.
May not even buy anything, but I'll look for inspiration. It's like, oh, I've got some of that at home, oh, I could do this with it. And yeah, it's amazing.
I wish more people get back into the dollar store challenges and stuff. Those are a lot of fun to watch. I used to watch those for years on YouTube, and people's kind of gotten out of those. But the Walmart challenges, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, different amounts of challenges, and do overnighters with that. That's always fun to watch.
Well, I've got one. It's gonna be a fire starter if it works. I don't know if it'll work, but it did come from the dollar store.
Ooh.
So maybe I should turn it into a challenge for you guys.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I like all the challenges too. That's pretty cool.
What do y'all?
The dollar stores have a lot of good survival gear. I mean, people don't realize what you can pick up there.
Well, like I picked up they're cheap. I think it's a 10 by 10 blue tarp. I think it might have been $2 and a quarter at the dollar store, and I didn't get it because I wanted a tarp. I got it because I saw something in somebody's video where, and the tarp has those the woven material, and if you can cut it at one end and cut it at the other end and pull it through, then basically you can use that to either twist it up and then use it to sew with, or braid it up and maybe make a rope. So that's going to be something I'm going to try.
Yeah.
And it was cheap. You didn't have to go ruin a $10 tarp.
Yep.
I saw one where a guy won the end. I don't remember how many dollar challenge it was. Some of them I think is funny because they'll be like, "This is a $300 challenge," or just a ridiculous amount of money. It's like I want to see something like a $20 challenge, or something like that.
Wow,
but this one guy,
$300 challenge.
Well, I was exaggerating, but they'll give a big amount. Like $150 challenge to survive overnight, and you're like, what? But anyway, this one guy that I saw, the only thing I remember that he got that I thought was really cool is he got a shower curtain and ended up making a shelter out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool.
The ones about fishing, yeah, $300 challenge. Oh, they don't buy a $150 kayak.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like, thought this was a bank challenge.
yeah.
Hardest one I ever watched was the $5 challenge when it was actually a dollar store, still $1, which it's $1.25. It's not too bad. It'd be $6 now, but $5 challenge is pretty tough, but it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, like Harshman Hills, I don't know that it was a challenge, but he made a fire starting kit. It's in kind of like I guess, a plastic Tupperware container that, or not Tupperware, but it was more like a divided tackle box type thing, but it was a little one. And he made it up of different types of fire starters from things that he got from the dollar store. Of course, the the makeup pads and the cotton balls and the Vaseline, stuff like that.
Yeah.
$300 and I'm glamping.
Well, that'd be roughing it.
Have you guys seen? Grace brought up Adventures with Spackman.
I
I
haven't.
don't think I've ever watched him.
He is kind of a new up and coming YouTuber that does tent reviews, and he's got a different kind of approach to his reviews. He's funny, he kind of reminds you of that stoner guy from high school, It's like, well, man, this is totally cool. Oh my gosh. But he's been doing, he's done hot tent reviews. He made an igloo out of, the dome shaped monkey bar thing. He made an igloo out of it.
That's awesome.
And he just this weekend did his first two live streams, and he did a shower curtain shelter. It's not just strictly tent reviews. He'll go out and do some stuff. He also has reviewed some survival gear and stuff. So just
I remember in the Scouts when you were wanting to get into the Order of the Era, or at least in the area I lived in Texas, for your initiation or whatever they call it, you were taken out in the middle of the night, put on trail. You were given 2 matches, a paper cup, and 1 egg, and you had to survive on that through the night. You had to get a fire going. You had to cook that egg in the cup. You're given a little bit of water.
isn't that how snipe hunting starts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think challenges like that would be kind of fun too. I mean, talk about going out there with hardly nothing.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fun.
Now, this is a good kit to have in your camping gear, your bushcrafting gear, is your fishing pole.
Yep.
So you got a little fishing pole in here?
You look like a weatherman.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it's got the little eyelets on there.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I got a small little spinning reel.
Yeah.
I think I only got this for like a couple dollars. This is only a couple dollars. I think it was like about $10 for this one, about $15 for that one. And then I went online and I got this for $20.
Yes, what is that?
Trout fishing kit.
Trout magnet. It's not only good for trout, bluegill hit these things hard,
Oh yeah.
and there's that many of them in there.
Wow.
Check it out.
Ooh. And those are the actual trout magnet
Yes,
brand.
yes.
Okay.
Is there any way you can make him big and me small so I can see what he's showing?
How do you tag another channel to keep all the channels or videos together? Guess I'm not sure what you're asking there.
Yeah, right at the bottom, you'll see the big screen, little screens off to the off to your left-hand side. Click onto that one. Right below the screen where we are. You see all those little icons at the bottom of the of
Right.
our window here? Yeah. Click over onto one of those ones over there. You'll see, you know, a big window and then 3 little small windows off to the side. Just like StreamYard.
You talking about the placement of people?
Yes.
And what am I doing?
Click on one of those, make it big so I can show this here.
I'm
Oh,
swapping me and him.
Make it big. There we
Yeah.
go.
There you go.
Work. Okay.
that was the double click on
There you go.
Okay. This is going to be trout fishing lures. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And this is the kit where you get
Oh yeah.
165 pieces. That's including the case. All the little
Oh, wow.
lures in there, all the different little grubs.
Uh-huh.
These things, bluegill love these.
Yeah.
Yeah, crappie does too.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
They come and they hit these hard. Like I said, when I found out I got warmouth in my creek here, I was like, oh, heck yeah, game on.
Okay, so I think what Mike was asking about tagging other channel, keep all the channels or videos together. It's the basic way that I've seen about it. The people will let's see, figure out how to.
Yeah, and I keep it inside the bag to keep this from opening up inside my backpack, because I actually have like a 22-year-old backpack.
But
Yeah,
I think what he's asking is for the challenge. What you do is you create a video, and then in the video, you call out like the people that you want to challenge, or
Yeah.
you don't even have to call out. You just say, "Hey, I'm doing this challenge, and the challenge is, and here's the parameters."
Yeah, so
And then those that, you know, I guess you could say accept your challenge or whatever, they'll create their own video, and
somebody else.
that they will say, I'm doing it because Jason did the challenge, or Jason challenged me, and you call out his channel.
Yeah.
And then in the description of your video, you can actually put links for maybe their video that was the challenge, or other people that have done it.
Yeah,
And
it's actually,
yeah, you can put a hashtag.
no, it's actually
long
it's
as-
a @ sign in the title. You
Yeah,
put the @ sign
In the
their-
title. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
In the
exactly
title.
it.
Yeah, you want to hashtag the challenge and @ sign their channel.
Yep.
Because you're calling them out.
Yeah, but in your description, you know, if I'm, say, I was to call everybody in the chat and everybody up here on the panel to do a challenge to come up with a unique fire starter, you know, that, you know, maybe everybody hasn't seen, then, and then I did one, I couldn't call out every channel in the title. you
Yeah,
know,
just
with
do
an @
do
symbol,
two.
so.
Just call out 2.
Yeah.
And keep that chain going. And
Yeah.
that chain will get other people to watch yours. as well.
Okay. I hadn't heard about the app symbol.
Yep.
Unless you got a really long channel name. I wish I could, be able to utilize the HTO, hashtag HTO, but I'm sure that would coincide with a lot of other things. So,
Do you have the key fob in here?
No, it's out in the vehicle.
but
Well, this sounds like you're going to start a new challenge there, Herbert, for fire starters. That's a good idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I've got one coming up that hopefully it works. I don't know if it will or not. I mean,
Make sure the buttons are right.
principle
Tag us in
wise,
it.
it
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
But
Well, even if it doesn't, it may inspire others to try too. I mean, try and fail. I mean,
if we get some, not freezing weather out here,
Yeah. Make it look like that.
I might do a, go out back on the patio here. We got a little fire pit,
I'll go get that fob.
and maybe do the challenge there. We'll give that a try.
yeah.
Yeah, we can do that in the chat. Like you did the @ and then my channel name. Of course, the nice thing is if you are in the chat and you're on, I don't think it works on the phones, but on a desktop computer, if you put the @ symbol and start typing the channel name, it'll give you a drop down of that channel name, and you just
it works on the phone.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah.
Tried it. I don't think it does on my iPad though. I've tried it and it never did a drop down. So
Then if you search on the hashtag, it'll list all videos that use your hashtag in their video description. So that's Grace.
okay.
Yeah, it's like when I did the cut the can challenge. I put their names in there in the title.
Maybe I need to do. Colin had the grilled cheese challenge, and maybe when I do it and I do the call out for it, I'll call it "Cut the Cheese Challenge."
Cut the cheese challenge.
Man, I bet I could win that one.
Yeah, let me get some pickled eggs and some Slim Jims, and we'll go up.
Yeah, there's the one that Colin used.
Mm-hmm.
There you
go. I think maybe a challenge of how to cook carp. Do you
That's
guys know
tough.
Well, you can eat it, but it tastes like shit.
No. Here's the best way I have found to eat carp. Okay, so get you a carp, and of course you're gonna clean it up, try to flay it up as best you can. It's got a lot of bones in it, but then you get you a piece of aluminum foil, and you're gonna basically use it as a bowl to kind of marinate. So then you're gonna put some lemon pepper, salt, a little splash of vinegar on it, salt. There was something else. The thyme. You put that on there, and then you close it up and shake it all up real good so it kind of impregnates into it. And then you go out and you cut you off a nice big slab of pine bark, and you put that, you take it out of the foil, put it on the pine bark, and then you put it in the grill. You start cooking, and you got to slow cook it for probably, and you'll have to calculate this out. It's probably about, if it's say a 5 to 7 pound carp, it's going to take probably about 3 to 5 hours of you slow cooking it. And you put it on the grill, and you got to leave it closed until it's dark. If you expose it to light, it changes the flavor. So then once you have gotten it off of the grill after dark, pull out your pine bark with the carp on it. You shake the pine bark and eat the pine bark.
I like Minnesota Mike's take on it personally.
And head off to KFC. Yes. I like it.
If you have to eat the carp, take off that bloodline, that little mud line in the center, that red line.
Yeah.
Take it off. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Soak
Now,
it in
I
some
have to admit,
buttermilk helps too.
I have had smoked carp, and it was pretty decent. I was shocked because it had been ingrained into me all my life that it's just absolutely disgusting. It could never taste good.
That's what I've always heard.
But I
Yeah.
had smoked carp, and it was actually good.
I've had fried carp in peanut oil, and that was actually pretty decent.
I've had
Yeah.
trout, cooked in, like butter and lemon pepper and stuff like that. And I wasn't a fan of it at all.
Yeah,
But
me either.
when we went up to Yellow River and had a meetup with Colin, he cooked it in a batter like you would, so panfish or something like that. And it was good. This
Wait,
was
what
like
was?
a trout in a beer batter.
Oh, okay.
It was actually pretty good.
I got to get off of here.
Alrighty.
Okay. Alrighty.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Randy.
Good night, Randy.
See y'all next time.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming in.
I
Enjoyed it.
appreciate you inviting me.
Oh yeah.
See y'all later.
Anytime. I think what we're gonna do, I usually try to go to, like 10, but I think tonight we'll probably go to about 9 o'clock. So that's a heads up of
Okay.
what we
Alrighty.
got. So we got about 20 minutes here.
This live's been pretty educational and a good one tonight. I've sure enjoyed everybody's input, and this community's so knowledgeable on ideas, and I've learned so much from other people. Like I told Randy, nobody likes to know it all. As long as you keep learning and you learn something new every day, and you put a twist on stuff all the time.
Yeah. All right, Mike. I appreciate you coming.
Alrighty.
Good night, Mike.
Good night, Mike.
I always look forward to your videos. Been watching a lot of his here lately.
Yeah, Mike's puts out some good ones.
Yeah. And I think this live stream and being able to actually talk to you guys as opposed to you put out a video and you throw a oh, that was good, thumbs up,
Yeah.
this gives us a chance to say, hey, you did really good on that video. Hey, Randy, you're great at your camera angles and everything. It's just amazing. And,
Yep.
We're able to comment on the skills and pass it on to others. And they're like, well, hey, I got to go watch that too. So I think that's something that's really helpful with these live streams.
Yeah, and it's also wonderful to meet other people too, as well. It's almost like meeting face to face and talking.
Absolutely.
Right.
Growing the community. I mean, this community is, like I said, it's second to none in my opinion. There's a lot of communities on YouTube, but this one, a lot of people care about other people, and going to the Bushcraft meetup and met a lot of nice guys that are here local. But like-minded people, it's a good thing, especially these days and times, and not knowing what's ahead really, and with our country and world in general. Uh, to know like-minded people and get an idea of who's close to you, and uh, community is really important.
Yeah, we're here to
Right.
help each other, not hinder.
Yep, exactly.
See if I can. I've got something I wanted to show you guys. Bring it up here.
Yeah, like I said, I was just showing off these lures here. You can't beat 150 or 165 pieces for $21. You can't beat it.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
That's a lot of lures.
I don't know if you guys can see that too well. Actually, I might jump over to it and see if I can.
Too well, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not on my computer tonight, so it's going to be hard for me to read that. There we go.
Yeah, I just expanded my my screen here.
Is that a little better?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So what that is, I used ChatGPT and told it to create some questions for, the bushcrafting camping community.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
as you can see, I think I got 10 questions out of that. And so
Yep.
it kind of gave me a nice little list to be able to go through. And then, of course, I, cut out some stuff, copied and pasted it over into Microsoft Word here, and then
Yep.
different things. But I've also got, I keep notes in here, names, channels, things that's
Yep.
been going on. These were questions from last week's and such.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
maybe I have a question that, didn't get asked in the previous week that I kind of really wanted to find out about. And so, so if you guys are looking for, ideas to give you questions to actually
Yep.
ask to keep the flow going, give ChatGPT a try. It's free,
Yep. Yeah,
and
it's a good program.
I used it to write the description for the video here. Of course, I used the Night Cafe to create the thumbnail, and it's kind of way better than anything I would come up with,
Yeah.
unless it's something like the fire strike of a ferro rod, with sparks showering. So, but just thought I would share that with you. So, because I know some people
Awesome.
have been asking, what can I do to, kind of enhance things. Like I said, we're discussing in a series of things, and not just, hey, how's the kids? Oh yeah, well, yeah, I went to the grocery store the other day. I mean,
Yes.
I kind of want it to be a little bit structured. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I feel like in
And
this community, it does, even if it's not structured, we still relate experiences
yep.
quite well.
Well, iron sharpens iron. I mean, like I said, having these is really nice because just in comments, you don't get people's personalities. You don't get the camaraderie that you do through this. It's really good to hear
Well,
everybody's intake.
oh yeah. Like I said, same thing when you're typing. You're also losing some was it not not content content of
Content.
what they're actually saying. Yeah, because
You
you know
lose
how we
the
talk and
inflection,
yes.
like the surprised.
Well, like I said, when you put something in a sentence, it's how you say that sentence as well.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
this world's getting so antisocial too. I mean, yeah, this is video, but it is still socializing, and it's still uh, getting to know one another better. Like you said, I mean, just because you watch their videos don't really mean you know that person. You can get to know them. You know,
Well,
important.
yeah, I've been doing live streams with Jason
Yeah.
a couple of years before I actually met him at a meetup. And we get to the meetup, but it was like just down the street.
Yep,
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier when you finally meet in person, though.
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
absolutely. You know, you don't find out that, you've watched their videos and everything in their videos is them acting.
Yes.
They've acted one way, and in reality, they're not that
Yeah,
same
in my
way.
videos, it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
That's
something
why I
I think
like.
I
Yeah.
appreciate about, this community, this niche of videos, is the people are a little more uh, not game showy or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's not like we're trying to
Yeah.
get national
Because
ratings on the syndicated, was it a TV show?
Yeah.
yeah, because when I met Woodsman and Randy and everybody and uh, Matt, both Matts, I mean, everybody was who I expected them to be. You know, it was nice to
Uh,
already kind of know them before you meet them.
how long have you guys known each other?
Well, in the Bushcraft meetup, I just met two guys in the Ozarks. Randy and I both. That was our first time meeting Matt Woodsman. I've only personally met once, but Randy and I think the Bushcraft meetup was our fourth or fifth meetup. I think Randy and I met up quite a few times down at Mark Twain.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to try one of those meet. Now, that meetup that you had, when they had classes that they taught, right? Was
Yeah.
there a fee for
Yeah,
this
and that
stuff?
fee included all classes. You could just pay for the general admission for Saturday with the classes if you just want to take classes and didn't want to camp. But if you wanted to camp, you could do one night, 2 nights. But that price paid for everything except for obviously if you wanted to buy gear or the Amish had potato soup and chili on Saturday for lunch for donations. So
Right.
yeah, it's real reasonable. I think I paid with the online fees for the tickets and everything. It was all digital. I think it was just under $28 for the 2 night camp fee and the whole
Now,
thing. So it wasn't much.
now, did you do the camp fees through the campground site, or did you do it through the bushcraft event?
Yeah, through the Midwest Bushcraft website, and I think they paid the campground directly. It wasn't through the campground, so yeah,
So did
I don't
they
know.
like reserve a section
Yeah,
ahead of
yeah,
time, and then they collected the fees? Because, like, I
yeah,
know the uh, state park that I camp in, it's $8. That's
yeah,
what pretty much all state uh, campsites go for that are uh, utility. And I think it's a fair price. I think I would even pay 10, which they're talking
yeah.
about raising that rate. They mentioned it this last season, but I think it's going to possibly happen this year.
Yeah, they've got another Midwest summer and then another, well, two summer meetups and a fall meetup in November. Two of them are in Kansas. The summer one's here in Missouri again, near Clinton. Um, haven't decided if I'm going to go to the summer one yet, but I might.
Well, let me know if you do. I'll try to make it over to it.
Yeah, I posted on my Facebook page, my community page on YouTube, and I think Instagram about the information for that meetup if people want to go.
So you got a Instagram?
Yeah, I do. It's 210 Outdoors as well. My Facebook is 210 is taken, so it's TWOTEN on Outdoors on Facebook. But
You can get
yeah,
those.
if you go on Facebook or Instagram, you can join the Midwest Bushcraft
How's the snow space
page.
is 210 outdoors, right?
Which one? The Facebook?
Instagram,
Instagram just 210 Outdoors. Yeah,
because I got one
pretty
here
sure I
with
posted a link on Instagram. Maybe I didn't. I know I did on Facebook
it's got
and the
a
community page.
looks like a little red versus TWOTEN space outdoors.
On Facebook.
That's the one I'm seeing on Instagram.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is that it?
It posted the link. Yeah, yeah. That's the link I posted. So yeah, it's all on Facebook. There, that link. Even if you go to Instagram, I'll take you to Facebook and their website.
Okay, I
Midwest
recognize
Bushcraft
the
Show.
pictures,
Yeah.
so I got the right one. I was like,
Okay.
I recognize that hammock in the snow.
Yeah. It's
And when I got to looking at how you set that hammock up, especially on the ends of it, where
yeah.
you know, it when I set up my hammock before I, just had the 10 by 10 and, it just like that.
Yeah. Comes down.
And the
Yeah.
way you had those corners, so your tie downs weren't on the outer ends, they were in the middle more.
Uh-huh.
And then you could actually fold those ends around. That
Yep.
was cool. I was like,
Yeah.
that kind
Yeah.
of defeat or kind of saves having to buy something like what's that makes the the hammock gear, and it's got a specific tarp for hammock.
The
Um,
the hot tent for the
yeah, it's a hot tent tarp for hammock camp.
yeah. Yeah.
Who is
That's
it that
pretty much
makes
what
that?
that one wind tarp I have. It's pretty much the same as the hot tent version, except it doesn't have the stove jack in it. Pretty much. I would
Right.
like to have the hot tent eventually, but my gear, I usually don't go camping to have to have a hot stove or anything to stay warm. My gear is plenty warm, and I always dress warm enough, so I usually don't. If I have a fire, it's usually for the ambiance, the to enjoy to look at. But
Right.
I don't necessarily ever have to have a fire to keep warm. My gear's always warm enough.
Your tailgate fire was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I got bored and I had that little twig stove, and I was like, you know what? That little dish that comes with those twig stoves that are intended for alcohol. I was like, well, why can't I drill holes in that and burn my pellets? Because that's what I burn here at the house is pellets. So I thought, oh, I used pellets in it.
Well,
So it worked really good.
you basically set that on top, though, didn't you?
Yeah.
On the
Yep.
top of that little stove, and so
It,
had a wide
it's
enough lip that it set down in
well,
there.
the particular twig stove I've got's got little cutout lines in the sides of each panel, and that little tray fits about midway in that twig stove. So if you have a bottom rack like mine does too, you can actually lay the pellets just on the bottom rack, but the flames barely make it to they'll make it over the top.
Right.
But yeah.
Did that need the little tray? Did it need venting from the bottom in order to burn decently, or
It was already formed into a cup shape. So once I drilled the holes in it, it gets plenty of airflow. And I keep one of those little blue flame butane torches, and I just start it with that. It works pretty good.
okay? because I, when I go camping in the summertime, I like the concept of having a fire, but
Okay, I'm back.
it's just almost too hot to have it.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to have something that gives you the ambiance, but not
Yeah.
the heat.
Yeah, and you can also cook off of it, and that's kind of what I did in between uh, cooking my meal real quick before we all gathered in the hot tent with Randy. Is I could stay
Yeah.
warm and have the ambiance while I'm cooking, boiling my water in my jet boil to,
Yeah.
cook my dinner. It was nice to have a little light warmth, and if I wanted to cook on it, I could.
Still think you ought to come up with
No, I
one and
was saying,
market it for the tailgaters at ball games,
Yeah, yeah.
or
I had a
even
lot of
the
I
tailgate
yeah
cookers at bushcrafting.
yeah
Under messages, not messenger.
yeah. There's a lot of good ideas. I get ideas all the time from fellow YouTubers that I'll twist and thinking, well, I can make this a little bit different or better, or get
Right.
ideas from everybody. I mean, I always see things like, why didn't I think of that? Or that's why I thought, why didn't I ever think about using pellets on my twig stove? That was, I was like, well, that's a no brainer.
Right. Well, I've been thinking about, I've seen where people have gotten the utensil
You see it?
holder
Yeah.
that's got the holes all around it in the bottom, and then putting bolts in the bottom for legs and stuff. And
Hmm.
I got to looking at it. It's like, yeah, I do like the
you sent
design,
that picture or to my personal one?
but for the cost of buying one of those, I could spend just a little bit more and actually get one of the little tabletop smokeless
It's like a
Like a
clear
burn.
solo stove.
for your big
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think because I want to be able to, like, if I'm testing a fire starter,
carrying your
then I
Mhm.
want something to quickly toss it into.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you like
I thought about even
That's fine.
modifying one of those solo stoves to make a pellet stove out of it as well. I think it'd work pretty well if you had a basket to put the pellets up off the bottom.
if I got you the black one?
Well,
And I got
I know there
Okay.
was one that I was looking at
Okay.
that actually has I guess it's like a little, uh, it's like a big thimble with a bunch of
Mhm.
holes in it
Yep.
that you put in the middle of that little stove, and then the outer part has a bunch of holes too, and you pour the pellets around that cup in the middle,
Uh-huh.
so it will burn twigs or pellets. So
Yeah.
and
Good.
I think I saw that on Amazon for a fair price.
Yeah, because I just put some pellets in a Ziploc bag and shove them in your bag. I mean, it's pretty lightweight, and you don't have to
Right.
process all that wood and everything. And
Oh
if
yeah.
I ever do get the hot tent for my hammock set up, I'll probably end up doing a pellet stove as well. Make one out of ammo can.
Yeah, I think the one that I was looking at was a little bit more. Uh, it's fueled by pellets or wood, and it was $33.99.
That's not bad at all. Not
No, that's
bad.
pretty.
Yeah, and that's 8.6-inch wide on the top.
Yeah, it's plenty
That's
big.
what it was. Yeah.
That would heat my tarp up inside my hammock real easy, just like that emergency paint can stove heater that I made. That heats up my tent or my tarp over my hammock pretty easy.
Yeah. Now that one, what are you burning in that? Is that an
Uh,
alcohol?
Alcohol, yeah. You use the
Yeah.
toilet paper and roll and stuff in the paint can, and yeah, the 70% works great. It's the longest burn. It's not as hot as the 90, but you get a longer burn time. So that quart size paint can, usually about 3 to 4 hours. That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Got the
And
gallon size I'm gonna do next.
it's not like if you're using the pellet stove or whatever that it would
Yeah.
give off smoke that would collect up underneath there.
Yep. The alcohol's super clean burning. I mean, even the 70%, I get virtually no smoke whatsoever.
Something to have to consider trying.
Yeah, there's so many things, and just like the Crisco emergency candle heaters, those work great. You can get those long, skinny candles and shove down in the things of Crisco, and you can make individual emergency candles and stuff out of quart jars, mason jars. A lot of good ideas.
Oh yeah.
I've got one here that I kind of formulated an idea and thought I might give it a try, but I always forget to do it. But of course, the walnut here,
Oh, yeah.
see how it's got all that open space in there?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like that. I thought about getting, I've collected, I think it's taken me 4 years to fill a tub this size with like pine pitch,
Mm-hmm.
or pine sap or whatever. So it's basically packed full now of the sticky mess. And taking it and put it in a little pot, melt it down, and pour it into this, and have a nut candle.
Yeah. Good idea.
And it's just an unfinished video idea, but I don't know how it would. Candle, you almost want something that wouldn't, the outer shell to burn up, and
Yeah, you need a vessel to put it in so you can keep it under control.
exactly. Might get one of those little. They got those little tiny stainless steel like bowls that for like in a hamster cage or something.
Yeah.
Well, you can get 18 inches of a 3-inch pole for fencing, and then you can put the holes in the bottom so you can draft air out of it and make a little chimney.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So there's
You
always
can
an
put a little
idea
dampener
for it.
on there.
But yeah. Where's my notepad? I gotta.
Well, it's like a little heater I made for my greenhouse. Unfortunately, it only works if it's cold.
Yeah.
I put a heat lamp inside of a stove pipe. So I put it on the pallet. I put the box in there for the electrical box. I put the ceramic holder up on top. I put the heat lamp in there, and I put a little cage around it, protect the light bulb itself. I slipped the I believe it's a 6-inch stovepipe over it. So it draws air off the bottom through the pallet, and it convects it up into the air.
Oh,
about 2 feet above it. But I got out there when it's cold, and I can feel the heat coming off of it, drawing the air through it. But it only works when it's cold.
Yeah.
It doesn't work when it's warm.
Huh. Well, the amount of heat that it's putting out is equal to the temperature of the heat outside.
Mm-hmm.
Heat rises, so
it's in the bottom of my greenhouse.
The same. There's not going to really rise too much,
but it convects air. So it's pulling up from the bottom and putting out up at the top, just like.
I know this. I look back at my channel and the videos I've made, the things I've crafted and stuff like that, which I've done some fatwood finding videos, and of course the one that I did with the auger bit to extract shavings from a log. But I was like, well, I want to create some shorts from these videos, and I saw an interesting video that told some statistics about the publishing of shorts and how to get them to do better at taking off. So I was like, well, I'm gonna start making some shorts as advertisement for the full video. And I was like, I don't really have that many videos. It's like, how did I get it even to where I'm at with not that many videos? So, but of course, one of my most successful videos is about my tent. So, but I kind of hit on a key area. It was a 6-person tent that came from Amazon. It was a decent price, So, and it was one that seems to have stuck around like Coleman. It's the UPN tent. So yeah. So, which I hate having to use review videos to encourage views. There's only so much you can do before you're getting repetitive of bushcrafting. There's only so many times you can go looking for fatwood. Before it's like, okay, I get it. I go in the woods, I find pine trees, and I cut off limbs. So. Yeah, so Grace tried the auger bit thing, but she tried it with the corkscrew, and it didn't bring it out quite as well. And it, even if you try it with a hole drill, one of those that has a point in the middle,
the spade boring,
and then the spade boring. I tried that to see if it would do it the same way or better or worse, and it was horrible. I mean, it did it a little bit, but the deeper you got into it in fatwood, it just kind of packed it in there and wouldn't pull it out. So.
Yeah, it's probably because it's causing too much heat.
Yeah, that was part of it. But an auger bit, and when I say I didn't do it with the drill. I did it with a hand drill.
Yeah.
But it still created entirely too much heat to get it out effectively. So the auger bit is the absolute best way to do it. If you can do it with one of the hand cranks, as opposed to the T-bar that you got to keep twisting like that. If you get the hand crank, it is just phenomenal.
Night and day, huh?
I mean, I knew it would work. It's just I didn't know how well it would work, especially when it comes to doing it horizontal. Because once you got to let go of that T handle to move your hands around, it wants to drop out when you're first starting. So when you're doing it with your hand drill, you're just going like that with still applying the pressure inward on it, and it works like a charm. So, well, we made it to the 9 o'clock hour. Of course, we're a little past it, but like I said, I normally do, try to make it till 10 o'clock, but I wanted to kind of leave, with food for thought for things. I certainly appreciate you guys joining us, and
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
we got Grace in the audience there, and two guys in the woods.
Quite a few people in it. I saw at one point we had over 10 people in the
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or what?
Usually I only get 5, 6 maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It takes time,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
only that you're 2 away from 1,000.
I am.
Awesome.
Yeah,
How many?
2.
2? No. Was that last time I looked? I was at like 988. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, is it 988?
I think that's what
Yep.
I
I'm sorry,
saw.
I'm counting. I forgot.
Yeah. So
More, yeah.
I'm 12 away.
12 away.
Yeah.
I still got a
That's
ways to
good
go.
though. Yep.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I've been over 1K. I think I almost made it to 1100, and that's when I moved from Arkansas to Illinois, and it's like no place really to fish, no place really to hunt. What am I gonna do? You know. So and then it's like, well, I enjoy camping, and there's places to go camping. So
Oh, well, you can always go fishing at the Bass Pro Shop.
yeah,
Let's
they
see
got
how long it takes me to get kicked out.
the,
Should double try the gear, right?
well, the cool thing is the Bass Pro Shop is right on the Illinois River. So you can go in, buy your gear, and run out and try it. Although I'm not sure I would want anything out of the Illinois River.
No.
Well, that was the nice thing there in Mesa, Arizona, where the Bass Pro Shop was. Right across the street was, what park was that? Riverview Ranch or Riverview Park. There was actually a 3-acre pond right across the street.
Yeah.
That they kept stocked with catfish in this spring and fall and trout in the wintertime. And they had bass in there, bluegill, but they didn't do any stocking in the summertime. The water just got too warm.
Yeah. We got a here in town. So I can't say that it was actually, one of those pits that they dug out and used to keep like cinders and stuff for the road crew for putting down in snowy, icy roads. But they had dug, stripped the pit out. It's not very big. I mean, I couldn't throw a stone across it, but it's probably about maybe 100 yards across. But it was deep in places. As they've got bass, catfish, bluegill, carp, and crappie in there. And so it's a nice little place to be able to run over to, after work or on the weekend, if you don't have a lot of time, but you got a couple hours to kill. So nice little place to be able to go. You
Well,
can even
gentlemen,
take
it's
kayaks.
been
but,
fun. I think I'm gonna have to get out of here. So
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I
All right.
really
Like I
appreciate
said,
you guys.
all
Well,
right. Have you, before I forget, have you picked a day for doing live? So
Yeah, I think
those
Monday
that are,
nights. I mean Tuesday nights. Well, no, it's Monday. Monday tomorrow night at 7. I
okay.
think I'm gonna start trying on Monday nights. I think everybody else has got so many other nights filled up. So
every
yeah.
night it's filled up. Like I said,
Yeah.
yeah, Monday night, was it 8 o'clock our time? I think Earl goes live, which is the reef robber.
Yeah.
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 But that's kind of outside of the niche of what
Yeah.
David does. But yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, I'll be there Monday night.
Okay. I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate you guys more than you know, and I hope you guys have a good night.
All right. You too.
Tomorrow's my
See you
Friday.
guys later. Yeah. Good night, Matt.
Now you can hang around for a second in the green room, so to speak. I wanted to show you, the ability to do that once we go off air. So you could use that kind of thing in yours if you wanted to talk to the guys afterwards.
Okay. Okay.
So, all right, we are going to end the stream here. Thank you, everyone. Remember, be kind to each other. And like Jason says,
Get out there and slap a rat.
there you go.